श्रीमात्रे नमः। ॐ बीजपूरगदैक्षुकार्मुकुरजाब्चक्राब्जपाशोत्फल व्रय्यग्रस्वपिशानरत्नकलशैः प्रोद्यत्कराम्भोरुवः धेयो वल्लभया सपद्मकरया आश्लिष्टोज्ज्वलद्भूषया विश्वोत्पत्तिविपत्तिसंसतिकरो विघ्नेश इष्टः दद श्रीनाथादिगुरुत्रयं गणपतिं पीठत्रयं भैरवं सिद्धौघं वटुकत्रयं पदयुगं धूतीक्रमं मण्डलं वीरान्त्यष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकम् श्रीमन्मालिनीमन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम् माधर्मे मधुकैटभग्निमहिषः प्राणापहारोऽध्यमे हेलनिर्मितधूम्रलोचनवदे हे चण्डमुण्डार्दिनी न शेषीकृतरक्तबीजदनुजे नित्ये निशुम्भापहे शुम्भध्वंसिनि संहरा सुदुरितं दुर्गे नमस्तेऽम्बिके सर्वं श्रीचण्डी महालक्ष्मी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः सद्गुरुं श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओं Welcome all of you. So I have reached our Peetam in Chennai and this class is taking place from Sri Dattaguru Peetam in Chennai. So let us connect the uh, session, the Sri Vidya Foundation theories that I was talking about, and you were all trying to understand like, the inner world experiences, the the basically the play of the gunas and the chittas. You know, once the Prakriti emerges as, you know, we can say it as like as Maya and the Kanchukas. You remember the word Maya and the Kanchukas? You all have clarity. What is Kanchuka? First of all, like that is something very important, students, because otherwise we can't keep talking about, like what, exactly is the entire idea that is developing from Kanchukas. Maya, at least I'm pretty sure you all must be having an idea. I would like you to write a few sentences or what is your understanding about Kanchukas? All of you, please go ahead in the chat box. Some of you are quickly looking into your notes. That's nice. See, at least now you're reading, trying to read what is Kanchukas. If you don't understand, because Kanchukas are very core to our Sri Vidya learning, actually. What are Kanchukas? Gopinath sir, tell me what is Kanchukas? I want answer from everybody. You're not simply listening to me. I'll catch you. If not like this, I'll send an email. Explain all these things. Or maybe a direct message will come to your WhatsApp. We never know. Tell me, Srini sir, what is Kanchukas? కంచుకాస్ కి మతలబ్ క్యా హై కంచుకాస్ అంటే ఏం చెప్తారు కంచుకాస్ యాదు పరయం కంచుకాస్ నా ఎన్న కన్నడ హౌ టు సే కంచుక అంటే ఏం అంత్రే ఏం ఐ టోల్డ్ ఇన్ ఆల్ ద లాంగ్వేజెస్ నౌ పాసిబ్లీ విశ్వనాథ్ సార్ టెల్ మీ ది ఆన్సర్ వాట్ ఆర్ కంచుకాస్
Last two classes I could not attend due to I was in the office, so I could not follow in the last two classes, sir.
This is an excuse, sir. We have published even the notes. Why
Yes,
didn't
sir.
you
Yes,
read
sir.
the notes?
Late night also I came around 12 o'clock, so that's the reason I could not study the things, sir. I will
Okay,
rectify
sir.
myself.
Okay, sir. This time accepted. See, that's a reason I ask you all to read, reflect, write something, Most of you are even wondering what is Kanchukas. So it means that if there is no clarity, I will think that I have not taught properly, basically. I know people are comfortably waiting. If somebody will write the right answer, Guruji will say, okay, this is the correct answer. Let us take it up from there. Correct, na? Tell me. I'm still not getting the right. I mean, the answers are coming in here and there from the notes I can see. Some of you have even mentioned the names. Now, let me tell you what are Kanchukas. Satya Ardhanari. Correct. But what? I mean, okay, Unni Krishnan, Jaya Hegde, Gayatri, Shamsundar. Correct. I will tell you once what is this Kanchukas are all about. In the tantric traditions, particularly in the Sri Vidya and the Kashmiri Shaivism that is coming down, Kanchuka is referred to 5 specific limiting aspects or the coverings or the sheets or the clocks that we have put into, as various scholars have given us, the coverings, or the veils or the clocks of consciousness. Actually, the consciousness is covered by 5 different things that it is not allowing us to experience the absolute and making us to feel limited. So this limitless Shiva Tattva or Shiva Shakti Tattva that we are feeling a limited Jiva Tattva. We are feeling as Jiva Tattva. While these Kanchukas, the 5 aspects of the Kanchukas, together they are called as Maya. You know, the wheel of delusion, the wheel of delusion. Maya or the wheel of delusion. But these Kanchukas or Maya is highly classified or highly categorized and explained in the Sri Vidya theories because of the foundational reason. The other sampradayas or the other schools of thought very clearly say that this is Maya. And they will put that Maya as Devi actually. Devi is the Maya actually. Therefore, there are certain traditions and theories. They say that she is lower energy actually because she is Maya. But she is not Maya. She is everything. She's also Maya also. We have to understand that. Are able to follow. She is definitely Maya. There is no doubt about it. But she is not alone Maya. She is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. She is Brahmandam. She is Akilanda Kodi, Brahmanda, Nayaki. She is possibly everything and anything that we can conceptualize and not conceptualize. So we cannot simply say that she's Maya and we cannot brush away her like that, actually, just like that. And you say that, I have to come out of this Maya. Even coming out of this Maya or remaining in Maya, everything is her kripa, actually. Her Avyaja Karuna, that she wants to keep us in the way she likes it, actually. Or we are trying to come out of it and she is giving her absolute, what is called as blessings, will, kripa, and she's pulling us out of this or something. So therefore, while explaining this Maya in Sri Vidya, it is talking about the 5 Kanchukas or the Pancha Kanchukas. That is Kala. The first one is Kala, which is limit of agency. Kala is the limit of agency. That is limited action. All our actions are never ever unlimited. It is all limited. It is limited for various factors. Yes or no? if you are conducting one family function, okay, and you are inviting 50 people, are all the 50 people happily going back? சாத்தியம் இருக்கா? Possible is there? ஏதோ ஒரு குத்தம் குறை சொல்லுவாங்க. Yes or no? Somebody will say something or somebody is not satisfied. Yes or no? Correct? You are working so sincerely in your office. Is your manager and other colleagues are always happy with you? No. Forget about relatives, manager, and fellow colleagues. Your own husband, children, wife, like none of the own interpersonal relations are happy with us. Yes or no? And we are also not happy with them, basically. This is because of the Kanchuka. I'm trying to make you understand. This is Kanchuka, basically. You understand? This dosham is basically called as Kanchuka. Are able to follow? So that is limit of agency. Limit of agency. The next one, Vidya. Limit of knowledge. There is a limit of knowledge. Because every field that we are involved has limitations of knowledge, actually. Sarva Jnanatrutvam is not there in any of the fields, actually, or neither we have it, actually. Sarva Jnanatrutvam. The third one, Raga. Limit of satisfaction. Limit of satisfaction. Everything is connecting with each other. All the five Kanchukas are connected with each other. Limit of satisfaction, we never, experience that unlimited satisfaction in anything. Everything and anything in this world is momentary or time-based, actually. We cannot experience supreme bliss or be in that supreme bliss. Number 4, Kala. What is Kala? Limited in time. Yes or no? Everything is limited in time. I wish I can speak 24 hours. You can listen to me 24 hours. Is that possible? Just not possible. Next, immediately after this class, you have to go and cook. You have to eat. In spite of a Sunday, this class is happening. You're all sitting here. Limitation. Correct? So, limitation based on time, actually. And that is what? It is restricting our nature of consciousness to be in the past, present, and future, actually. We are not able to do all those three things at a time, actually. Like how Devi does. She's there in the past, she's there in now in the present, and she will be there in the future. She's the same, but we are not the same. Are able to follow? So, limit of time. Number 5, Niyati. Number 5 is Niyati. That is limit of causation. Limit of causation. We are free as citizens of a country, as global individuals. We are educated, we are free, we have no restrictions. Everything and anything is fine. But the thing is that, are we really free? Our free will is restricted because we are not omnipotent or omnipresent, actually. We are confined by what is called as space. We are confined by the causality, and we are confined by the circumstances, actually. I wish I would have eternally stayed in Madurai. Yesterday, I had that feel. But see, I have to come back to Chennai. So, limit of causation, actually. These 5 things, are they practical or not, students? Yes or no? Tell me. They are practical concepts. And these 5 together, what it is doing, it is not allowing us to experience the infinite consciousness, actually. We have consciousness. True. but it is not allowing us to experience the infiniteness of that consciousness, actually, because consciousness is actually infinite in nature. Now it is clear to all of you. You will not forget, right? Yes or no? நான் இப்படி கேட்டு இப்படி விட்டுறது எல்லாத்தையும். Correct? You listen from here and you leave it here. Go. Maybe I do understand. These are all a bit, theoretical concepts, theoretical words. There is jugglery of terms are there. It's not easy to quickly grasp it. But remember these things, because these are the foundations, because we cannot forget the foundations. If we forget the foundations, then our entire pedagogy of learning will be restricted for this bodily understanding. We will start applying all these theories for the unfortunate bodily commitments that we have towards ourselves and to everybody around us, actually. புரியுறதா? அம்மா, நான் பண்ண மந்திர ஜபம்லாம் என்னோட பையனை காப்பாத்தட்டும். Whatever mantra japam I did, let it go and save my son. Go. Tatastu. Then why did you do so much of mantra japam? For Atma Unnati you did, or you have just given the phalitam to your son or your daughter or your granddaughter? You understand what I'm trying to say? Got it, what I'm trying to say? Are you able to understand? This is for you, actually. First time in life, you're doing something for yourself, actually. Whether you were conscious about this or not, Devi has chosen you for this, actually. And there is nothing wrong to be selfish, actually, because every jiva should go through this, actually. Sitting at home comfortably, you have been made to understand all these things, actually. This is called as Avyaja Karuna Murti Ajnana Dvanta Dvipika. Ajnana Dvanta Dvipika, Avyaja Karuna Murti. She is Avyaja Karuna Murti. That's the reason this is coming to you, actually. Got it, what I'm trying to say? So keep revising these concepts. Let's move further from here. So Prakriti, Maya, Kanchukas. Now you understand these words? Prakriti, Maya, and Kanchukas. The entire lived experience of the individual, is based on this. And that lived experience is further categorized into three categories. What are they? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva, clarity, luminosity, and intelligence. I would have said the exact same things actually the last class, because I'm just using my own notes that I have developed. And Rajas is the activity, movement, and restlessness. And Tamas is inertia, heaviness, and stability. Very good, Gayatri. And some of you are exactly saying the same words. It means that you have, note out down those words. Actually, when you have to, please type these things, actually. Type these, or formally write it in a space and keep it as handwritten notes. Because some of you tomorrow might be raised to the levels of teaching this, actually, to assimilate it, to come further. It's not necessary you have to teach for a huge audience. You can teach your own grandchildren. You can teach, somebody from the neighborhood, actually. You understand what I'm trying to say? Nan petra inbam in the vayagam perettume. Whatever the happiness that I receive, let this world also receive it, actually. But you know one thing, this is sarcastically used for marriage, actually. I hope those who understood the joke would have understood it, actually. So moving forward, the entire three gunas, that is sattva, rajas, and tamas. And the text, the Srividya text, basically all the major text, they very clearly say that gunas are never separate or static. This also something which we need to understand, students, because some of the other traditions, they say that sattva, he or she is full of sattva. This particular thing is sattva. This particular thing is rajas. This particular thing is tamo guna. You understand? That kind of a harsh categorization is there, actually. But in Sri Vidya theories, we don't do that harsh categorization that this is purely sattva, this is purely rajas, this is purely tamas. Everything is a permutation and combination. That's it. In percentages, like 90% sattva, 20% of rajogunam, 5% of tamogunam is there in the particular person called as Sai Srinivas. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, like that, it is a permutation and combination. Devi has built everything like that. All the vastus have permutation and combination of the triad natures, actually the triadic nature. Actually, what is the triadic nature? The gunas, the sattva, rajas, and tamas. Why? Because everybody is limited by Kanchukas, na? Yes or no? Everybody and everything is limited by Kanchukas. When everything and everybody is limited by Kanchukas, nothing can be completely Shuddha Sattvam. You understand? Basically, it's like that actually. Nobody is perfect at the end of the day. Nothing is perfect. Everything is having permutation and combination of perfections and imperfections. From this, what you need to understand is that you have to consciously accept yourself, actually. Accept yourself and accept others as they are. Got it? So, they are always in mixing, as I told you. They are fluctuating, mixing, fluctuating, and recombining. This is something very important you have to understand. Fluctuating, combining, recombining, and mixing. I told that example 90% Sai Srinivas is Sattva, but that can become opposite also based on the circumstances, actually. Based on the circumstances, based on situations, it can become different. So, what we are trying to say, there is no single fixed mind. Number one, there is no single fixed mind. There is no universal emotional pattern. Number two, no universal emotional pattern. Number three, psychological experiences is fluid and contextual. Psychological experiences are fluid and contextual. Shrikant Kapara, అర్థమవుతుందా? Good. Simply don't listen. Write some keywords and write. And then immediately after me finishing the class, when you get time, search these words in the internet. What they mean. Because I'm pretty sure you might be not having these books. Search in word, search in the internet. Try to take some notes. You know, understand or write some questions and keep it with you. Later, as you know, there is no need to send it to me. You can write your own questions and keep. Later, by the time will go, you will understand that the questions will be answered, as you're progressing in learning. So, this is why, coming back, the same person can feel clarity at one time, agitation in another time, dullness in another time. Not because the self is changing, students. Please understand. Not because the self is changing, but because the gunas composition of Prakriti is shifting. Gunas composition of Prakriti is shifting. Aale maritam patya. Just see the way he has changed. Nobody is changing. You understand? Only their gunas are changing. Gunas are in fact shifting actually. They are not even changing. Very carefully, the words are used. They are shifting. And because of the shift in the gunas, there is an entire spectrum of mental, emotional atmospheres. Because of the gunas shifting, there is a very different entire mental and emotional atmospheres, what we commonly call as number one, mood, number two, tendencies, number three, temperament. moods, tendencies, and temperament. Okay? And these three things together, the sum total of these three things together is called as the personality traits. The personality traits. Hema, are you able to understand? You can just show me your hands. Neelam, getting the points? Amakshi. Mhm. Okay, let's move further. Now let us understand chitta. I have already explained because it's a good revision, so it's little bit we can understand. Chitta. What is chitta? The inner field of experience. The inner field of experience. What inner we are talking about? That is, the gunas do not operate abstractly. They operate through the means of the chittam. That is the inner psychological field. The inner psychological field. The inner psychological field. And the components of chitta are two. There are two components for chitta. What are they? Smriti and vasanas. Smriti and vasanas. The vasanas can also be called as what is called as samskaras. The vasanas are also called as samskaras. Those who have written the notes, you can check. This is a storehouse. That is smriti or the memory is a storehouse of the lived experiences, not just factual memory. Not just the factual memory that we carry. It's a storehouse of a sum total of everything that is there, which we are carrying since time immemorial from various janmas. But factual memory, but it is also the emotional memory or the embodied memory, which are, in other words, called as the subconscious impressions. The subconscious impressions. And what are vasanas and samskaras, students? They are much more deeper than memory. Vasanas and samskaras are much more deeper than memory. They are the latent tendencies, formed by repeated actions, thoughts, desires, and reactions. Actions, thoughts, desires, and reactions across this life and also the previous lives. A sum total of everything. And when we talk about samskaras, it is not just mere moral labels. Enna or samskaram patiya, like that they say, now what a samskara, just see. They are not moral labels, basically. They are simply the grooves of habit. Grooves of habit. Underline this word and try to understand what that phrase means in English later when you Google. They are grooves of habit in consciousness. They are grooves of habit which is there in our consciousness. And now, as we introduce the concept chitta consisting of these two things, that is what is called as the smriti and the vasanas or the samskaras. So what is happening, students? There arises two things because of this. One is habits are formed, and number two, automatic reactions and perceptions are formed actually. Yesterday I told you, remember, don't go on teaching everything to your children. Let them, they will understand things on their own. This is the concept I was saying actually. The world in itself is a teacher. You know that Mahapariva said, "The ulagame oru enak oru jagat guru." You know what does it mean? It's a very big statement. The world is teaching constantly many things to us, actually, both good and bad things. And that is what we are trying to understand as the vasanas or the samskaras that we are, that we are attaining or reaching. And these are forming as what? As habits within us. And these habits are in turn forming as automatic reactions or perceptions, actually. So that this explains what basically we react before thinking. Certain situations trigger strong emotions. And number three, the same stimulus affects different people differently. The same stimulus affects different people differently. That's why we say, na, see how nicely he's behaving or she is behaving, but see in the same situation how she is behaving. You understand? There is no comparison. We understand now because there is a lot of things that is happening in that individual actually. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? There are these corporate professionals who are my students here listening to this. I think this will help them to understand. There is no one pattern, actually. You understand, each individual, we have to analyze them based on what they are only, what they are, and what the circumstances. Therefore, we should be ready how they are going to react both in front of us and both in the back of us, actually. We should be ready for that. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? That's the reason in Tamil they say one thing. Yare nambada. Don't trust anybody. Simple. That's why they say this. Now you understand why they say this. Don't trust anyone. Because everybody is subjected to their own circumstances, their own vasanas, their own samskaras, their own chittam. Who's having chitta shuddhi? You tell me. How do we know the other person is having the same chitta shuddhi that we are carrying for that at least to that particular person? We might not have the 100% chitta shuddhi, but we might have that 100% chitta shuddhi for that particular person, but they might be not able to take it. And when they don't take it, they ditch us, and we get upset or we are hurt, actually. Very simple. Got it what I'm trying to say? There's a huge, Sri Vidya and management theories. We can combine so many things, actually. This is the same thing you should apply at even home. The other day I was talking about, I was talking to one of the student, and I was like, we were having this discussion, like, why there is a lot of fights that happen between a husband and wife. There's always so much of fights, and you always keep talking about Shiva and Shakti, actually, and as examples. Like they also have fights, right? Like I was like trying to find an answer, actually, what it is all about, and trying to explain it. But before I could explain to that one student, the other student jumped in and said, maybe Shakti is speaking only those things that Shiva likes constantly. There is no fight at all. She only talks about those things which is accepted, which is which is which is possibly, which will not trigger any issues. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? She only speaks only those things, or she might put those things in such a way that there are no conflicts. But to do this, how much of intelligence you require, actually? How much of strategy is required? If that is the case, how much Shakti has understood Shiva's Kanchukas, Shiva's, Shiva's all the aspects of Shiva's Smriti or Shiva's Vasanas or Shiva's Samskaras, that she can only put things in those ways that there is no any troubles coming in. Same thing applies to even Shiva in that sense. Correct or not? So use these intelligent theories that Devi is teaching us directly in your day-to-day life, actually. First you apply it on yourself deeply before you apply it on others, actually. You try to understand what you are basically by all these formulations. You know, Devi will tell you, Devi will make you realize. And the moment you are going to realize that, you are going to apply it on others slowly and steadily. And you see there is an harmony that is going to appear in every field of yours or of your actions and your lived experiences. Actually, that is Sri Vidya basically. That is the beauty of Sri Vidya. Then, in such a space, you experience what is called as Swatantrata actually. You give that Swatantrata to others and you achieve that Swatantrata also. How many of you are able to understand what I'm trying to say? I spoke some very, very big things in a very casual way, but I'm not sure how many of you understood. I pray to Jagannatha that you all understand and assimilate what I'm saying, if not now, eventually, at least very soon. So, moving further, students. So, everyone is psychologically unique beings. Everybody is psychologically unique beings because, to revise what we were talking, the vasanas are different, the samskaras are different, the smriti is different, the proportion of the three gunas are different in each individual. Okay? And vasanas, samskaras, smriti, proportion, again, they work within the dimension of the Kanchukas. That's the reason one time the person is behaving in one particular manner, the other time he's behaving in another particular manner. Based on these factors only, people will behave, people will explain, people will react, people will accept. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? So, this is not randomness. There is a precession. There is a precession. And that precession we have to understand. And that precession, when we understand, that is called as Jnana Tattvam, Jnani. நீ என்ன பெரிய ஞானியா? People will ask, na? Yes, the one who has understood is a பெரிய ஞானி. The one who understands this is a very big panditaha. Yes or no? I'm going on saying a lot of examples in Tamil. I'm not able to stop myself. I'm really sorry. People say, na, are you a big pandit? The one who will understand is a very big pandit, actually. Got it? So, henceforth, therefore, what is happening, to sum up this part of the lecture or the theory that I'm explaining, different, therefore, everybody is having different traits, different coping mechanisms, different emotional thresholds, and different ways of dealing with circumstances and situations in life. This uniqueness is not ego, but it is Prakriti's diversity. This is not ego. This is Prakriti's diversity working specifically for that particular individual. And this, what is experienced within, comes out as a worldly experience. That is, once chitta and gunas are active, manifestation happens. How the manifestation is happening, students? Very simple. Through sight, through hearing, through touch, through taste, and through smell. That is, through the five senses of perception, these are manifesting. We are manifesting it actually. And these five senses of perception, what they are doing, students, they are allowing the world to be known. They are allowing the world to be known. Again, the world is known based on all the components that we have just discussed. So you know the world. Rajeshwari Ganesh Amma will know the world in a different way. Shanmuga Priya will know the world in a different way. Raghavendra will know the world different way. Rama will know the world in a different way. You understand what I'm trying to say? Kalyani Amma will know the world in different way. I will know the world in a different way because we are all having the unique differentness that I've just simply explained actually. Are able to follow? So Aruna and others, Pravina, and all of you, those who are having, grown up children or children who have grown up, don't compare between them. Stop comparing. Stop comparing between children. You understand very clearly they are very different now, actually. You understand what I'm trying to see the way how he is and see the way you are behaving. No, you are basically doing a huge aparadam, not mistake, actually. We can't keep comparing children actually to others. We can't keep comparing ourselves to others because the foundation theories are very clear. The Shastras are saying very, very clear things about this actually. We should stop comparing ourselves. We can learn things. There is no wrong in that. But learning should be in limit. We cannot compare. If you have the powers, you raise your children in the best possible ways, but don't dare to compare them with others actually. They are all Lalita's children. You are also Lalita's children. We are all Lalita's children, basically. So you have to leave it to her. You are her representative. You are doing your best. That's it. And if they are not able to take it, or if they are not growing up to their mark because of these following factors, actually, it is not your mistake, basically. So stop trying to pressurize, force, abduct, do these things at least on the next generations. Teach this to your other family members if they listen to you. Your fellow age, other relatives, cousins are there. Make them to sit and instead of going on gossiping and cribbing and crying about Mamiar, Nathanar, about all these people, instead of going on cribbing and crying about mother-in-law and others, sit and talk why everybody is like this actually. Why am I like this? Why they are like this? Have a discussion. Am I helping or not? Do I make sense? These are the practical ways to deal with it. Initially, it might look like, no, I am in such a agony. What are you talking? What kind of things you are talking? But eventually, you will understand that how things subsidize actually, because when you learn and when you assimilate, you start applying it actually. Okay, so therefore, coming back, the five senses of perception, sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, and this is making us to understand the world as it is, as it is to be known. Sorry, not as it is to be known. Next, the five organs of actions, that is jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. That is, what are jnanendriyas, students? Ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and skin. And karmendriyas, hand, leg, excrete, the excretory organs like genital and anus, and then the mouth. They are the karmendriyas. So these allow the world to be engaged. So in the first one, in perception, it is known. Underline the word known. And here, in the five organs of action, that is jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, they are allowing the world to be engaged. Underline the word engaged. And number three, the subtle elements, the tanmatras ayakayi namo namaha. Tanmatras, that is sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. The subtle elements. These are the templates behind the sensory experiences. That is, behind what? Behind eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and skin, actually. Yes or no? If you have a ear, that ear, the function, the primary function, or the reason the ear having the work or the guna is to listen, the sound. Yes or no? So having a ear alone is not not the criteria. It should be able to hear also. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? The sound. For example, you would have got up in the morning. Maybe you would have got some good scoldings from your spouse just before the class. Now you are listening to all these things. Hearing, it is the same hearing, but what you heard then and what you are hearing now. The, you understand the difference. So, the subtle elements, what it is all about. Organs of actions, subtle elements. There's a permutation and combination, they are working. And the final one, the five gross elements, that is the Panchabhutas: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And they form the tangible universe. Tangible universe means that which I can feel, touch, experience actually. Tangibly, I can experience. The Srividya theories very clearly say that nothing here is separate from the consciousness. Whatever we spoke, everything is a part of the consciousness. It is the consciousness appearing as matter through progressive limitation. Progressive limitation. Underline the word progressive limitation. Now let us note a simple vertical map to sum total this understanding, students. Okay. I'll go a little slow so that you can note down. Those who have not even note down anything, please note down this. The descent, because we are talking about the descent of creation. This is the topic, right? The descent of the creation. That is what we are continuing. So let us understand how this descent gets complete. That is, the entire cosmic manifestation is happening. So the heading is the descent, the completion of the descent hyphen the entire cosmic manifestation. The map of entire cosmic manifestation. Point number one, Shiva and Shakti, undivided. This is level one. Shiva and Shakti, they are undivided. It is vertically, it is going. Okay, you are putting a flow chart. Shiva and Shakti undivided, put a flow chart, the arrow mark down and write the next line. What is happening? Icha, Jnana, Kriya Shakti is appearing. Icha, Jnana, and Kriya Shakti. And after that, what is happening? Put an arrow mark, the next line. Maya and Pancha Kanchukas. Maya and five Kanchukas. Maya and five Kanchukas. Put an arrow mark below and write the next line. What is happening? The three gunas and chitta. The three gunas and the chitta. And from there, what is happening? The tanmatras. The tanmatras are coming into existence. And from the tanmatras, where it is going? The gross elements and the organs. The gross elements and organs. Now itself, I'm openly saying, as a teacher, if exam is conducted, exam will be based on this particular part only. For me to understand what is your understanding of this entire world is all about. If you have understood these points, then it means that you have an understanding of this world actually. World, people, situation surrounding, including yourself actually. Based on the Shastric point of view, what the theories are telling actually. So exam will be definitely conducted. Parikshas are there as a part of the Mahavidyalaya. This will be one very, very important component to write. And from this, I will ask you to explain your life, like the homework, assignment questions, personal homework assignments, not the Facebook postings that we do. We will be having personal reflections, writing your real life experiences. What was it all about? How did you react? What was the situation? And everything based on these dimensions, actually. And given the present situation, knowing all these things, how you would have reacted. So to write all these things, to conceptualize all these things, to assimilate all these things, to understand, you need to work a little bit more on this concept action. So therefore, to coming up, this is called descent, not because it is a fall, because descent means falling. Yes or no? but because it is a movement from unity of Shiva and Shakti to multiplicity that is there actually, from one to becoming many actually. The crucial insight from the Sri Vidya text and the theories is the problem is not creation, students. The problem is actually forgetting the cause of the creation. You understand? Why this world is like this? Why everybody is like this? That is not the right way to put it actually. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? If you have clearly understood this class, all your remorse, all your agony, all your pain that you have on people should have vanished actually. Why this particular person who is in my life is behaving like this? You understand what I'm trying to say? Why my child is like this? I wanted him or her to be like that, but he or she is like this. If you have understood this, it will bring Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Very practically, I've explained actually. But that because I am explaining means because Sri Vidya is practical theories actually. If you want, you write to me. I will take this class 10 times again by talking the same concepts with different examples actually. I am ready to do that. I am not going to get tired because this is the foundation. From here only we can build actually. If this foundation is not clear, there is no point in doing anything further. Let me tell you one example. I mean, I am not trying to say that I am something superior or something like this because I am your teacher. And this is actually, you know, a subject where the teacher also plays a very important role. The student plays a very important role. The teacher also plays a very important role. I'll finish off this session with this class actually. There is this very sincere student in our Mahavidyalaya. I'm not saying the name. Who's very, very sincere in doing assignments, attending the classes, writing reflections, doing the delivery of notes and everything. But this individual, always, carries that kind of anxiety, what if this is going to happen, that will happen, particularly in regard to the classes. Like it was like 3 4 weeks back or maybe a 1 month back or something like that. There was this last moment, like the way I have announced for the weekend classes, I just announced the classes, and this particular sincere seeker writes the messages to coordinators saying that how can a last moment class can be organized? This is not fair enough, we have lot of things to manage and this and that, like it was mentioned. And the coordinator brought it to me, and I said that simply say that if you want to attend or not attend, you leave it. Actually, it's not going to be a big deal, actually. You know, but the conversation continued to such an extent that it became a little messy. And then what I did, I simply removed that person from the group. Actually, I simply removed that person from the group. And after removing from the group, even I was not in peace. Actually, I had to remove the seeker from the group because just before that we were just testing with Zoom and everything, and we were working and the class was going on. I think most of you will be knowing also this. In the class, before the class was starting, because I was not unmuted, I just happened to shout, or rather say to our one of the coordinators, idiot, actually, in the class, and I think everybody would have heard it. And that this seeker is writing, because the stooping down of the conversation is going to that much, between both this, because if the coordinator is writing, the coordinator is writing on behalf of the guru. I can't say that the coordinator did something and I am not responsible. So it went to the extent of saying that, you know like, he is somebody who is saying idiot to the students. What can be expected from him? Actually, I said this is going too much. Let us finish this off and remove the person from the group. Then I was not in peace actually. I kept thinking the entire thing that happened. And you know what I felt? Why am I acting so much against my nature, actually. This is not my nature. It's fine because I said idiot, and this is what the student is pointing out. Means point out. It's okay, no issues. If this is because the conversation went to that extent that it became a tutu meme kind of a conversation, actually. Then what I did, I myself wrote an email to the student saying that I'm apologizing for this entire conversation that happened between you and the coordinator. And it was the spur of that moment because of the conversations that took place. I removed you from the group. Kindly accept my apology and you get back to your learning, actually. And that student also forgot everything and wrote that I am also equally apologizing, Guruji. Then the the seeker is there and the learning is going on as usual, actually. Are able to why I'm saying are able to understand? Because you all have an impression that I am a guru and I am supposed to be in a particular way, actually. I'm supposed to be dressed in a particular manner. I'm supposed to speak only particular things. I'm supposed to think in a particular dimension. I'm supposed to behave in a particular dimension or ways. But that kind of a conceptuality, we cannot keep it for anybody, particularly those who are following Sri Vidya or those who are coming in this path and to do certain things, actually. So we are open here to understand each other and to move forward with this knowledge as the primary understanding. Are able to follow what I'm trying to say? There is nothing because we understand our nature, right? Because what for we are learning this theory and what for we are applying. Because we have to put it just because of the reason I'm a guru. It's not doesn't mean that I can't apologize. If I'm wrong, I should apologize. Actually, I've heard there was this conversation that was pointed out and everything. Yes, of course. I should recognize that consciously and I should look forward for, rectifying it and finding remedial measures and move ahead of that, actually. Rather than sitting, how dare he or she can say that, I said this in the class, they don't understand my circumstances, what was here all about, this and that explanation. Because if anything, I ask you people, you also land up giving explanations, right? Hundreds of explanations. No, any explanations. Finish the matter, make it peace, you know, move on further, actually. Are you able to follow what I'm trying to say? This is the way I want you people should also apply these theories, actually. This is an example I'm giving for you to understand these theories, actually. Even that spur of the moment, if something is happening, calm down, actually. Think about these things. Pray to Jagannatha. Calm down and you come back your original self, the selfless self, the self which is only having identity with Tripura Sundari. Get to that self. Then you can immediately, you can bring in rectification for everything, actually. Are able to follow. You don't have to remain in your lowest self, actually. Immediately try to rectify it, with the purest of the pure intentions. That is something very important, actually. Rectification doesn't mean that you create further mess, actually. You bring things with the purest of the purest intention and everything will settle down, everything will move further, actually. Clear to all of you? So with this, I am stopping the class, and from further I will talk about the descent of the sadhana, that is forgetting our real nature, from the descent, how it has happened with whatever we have explained and understood. And sadhana, that is remembering and dissolving this limitation, and how to move further. That is how there is no difference in the Sri Vidya sadhana between the worshipper, the worshipped, and the worship. Actually, how these three things are together, and finally connecting that with Shuddha Marga and Ashuddha Marga, because that was actually our topic. I realized that you have like kind of confusion in Kanchukas. I started taking it back from there, but it is wonderful. I'm happy and I am satisfied that I could explain these concepts again to you all. Again, I'm saying if you have not understood, the notes are already there. Read it again. And if you have not understood, tell me again, I can explain this once again in the class. Or maybe I can explain to you personally, or however it is based on how far you have traveled and what is how much you have attended the class. I might land up giving a phone call to explain you actually, because at the end of the day I want you to understand these things and to move further actually. Remember, Sri Vidya is not just about mantra japams or colorful pujas or seeking Devi to keep blessing you with the multiplicity of all the needs and necessities you are having. Actually, that is not Sri Vidya. In fact, I would say even if that is Sri Vidya, that is not Sri Vidya. Sri Vidya is Atma Vidya, Mahavidya, Sri Vidya, Kama Sevita. Sri Shodashakshari Vidya Trikuta Kamakotika. That is what is Sri Vidya, and we are trying to bring that with everybody. Actually, we are trying to make everybody to understand that this is Atma Vidya. If Bhagavad Gita is all about Atma Vidya, if Upanishads is all about Atma Vidya, Sri Vidya is also equally about Atma Vidya. This is not about just getting some desires fulfilled. Actually, we are striving to bring that change, that excellence, that commitment towards to delivering through our Mahavidyalaya, and you are all the standing testimonials. I want you all to come up to those levels actually. Shri Matre Namaha. Let's finish the class. Sarvamangala Manghalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambhake Gauri Narayani Namostute Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Kshiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Om Shanti 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 Sarvam Shri Jandi Mahalakshmi Arpanamastu Tathastu.